Hi, this is Keith Townsend of www.virtualizedgeek.com. This is a continuation of our class on the introduction of cloud computing. We'll talk about the different components of an infrastructure as a service. Specifically, we'll focus on the cloud manager. So I did want to have a quick review of the material from the last video. We talked about the characteristics of a cloud computing environment, the service models, and the deployment models. I wanted to highlight two of the characteristics of a cloud computing environment versus a virtualized environment. Those two being that a cloud environment is usually, or not usually, actually on demand and a self-service. And we measure the service that we provide to our customers. The service models include software as a service, platform as a service, and infrastructure as a service. Software as a service, we gave the examples of email. Platform as a service, we gave the example of a customer building an application based on Salesforce.com. And infrastructure as a service is the AWS computing type model of cloud computing. Deployment models, private cloud for a single organization, community cloud for a subset of a community of users, and then public cloud is widely available to all. Hybrid cloud being a combination of any of those three previous cloud models. So the different stacks of the cloud computing model are the cloud manager, compute, storage, and network. The cloud manager is commonly referred to as the orchestration layer, which is what we'll talk about throughout this video. The three other layers, the compute, storage, and network, we're fairly familiar with at this point if we've done virtualization at all. The compute stack is obviously our server and virtualization platform. Storage are obviously where our data and storage will reside. And then network, public, private, shared network resources. We'll talk to those other three models in detail in future videos. So we're going to jump right into the cloud manager. The cloud manager, as we've stated before, is the most critical component of your cloud computing platform or offering. The cloud manager serves as the interface to your customers to their cloud. It provides an administrative interface for your system administrators, and I call it the plumbing of the cloud. In this image, we're depicting users who are accessing applications that are stored in the cloud. We give a generic set of applications. It can be an email application, database application, development workstations, SharePoint. Then the cloud manages the infrastructure of the cloud environment. So the physical servers, the storage, the network, the virtualization software. The cloud manager provides the whole orchestration of all those components. We'll take a look at each one of those components individually and talk about its relationship to the cloud manager. So some of the features of your typical cloud manager. This list is not meant to be exhaustive, but I think these are some of the minimum things that you want to look for in a cloud manager. The data center management. So basically, if a user decides that they want to provision a machine with 3 gig of RAM, 2 CPUs, and 20 gig of disk space, the cloud manager needs to talk to your storage. It needs to talk to your hypervisor, and it needs to talk to your network to provide that virtual machine. It needs to have chargeback features. So how much of a resource does a end user use, or a computing provision set of computing resources use? Amazon actually has some pretty advanced features for their chargeback model. Amazon is actually able to charge you based on the uptime of your nodes versus the total amount of pooled resources that you've been provisioned at the beginning of the month. So instead of billing you monthly for that 3 gig workstation with two CPU cores and 20 gig of disk space and X amount of network bandwidth, they actually charge you just for the amount of time that node is up. Network management, a lot of features that you would expect in your network application solution will be pushed down to the cloud manager. I don't think that's as critical as a need, but it should have some type of network management features. At the very minimum, you need to be able to speak to the network to provision network resources. Virtual machine management, obviously you need to be able to shut down, restart, potentially make snapshots of virtual machines. Provisioning, we just gave an example of provisioning. And then image repository is something that's commonly overlooked. Basically, if I'm going to roll out 30 new Windows 2008 machines, how do I get the ISO or the machine image up to the provider if I have a 10 meg internet connection and I need to create 80 machines? There needs to be some type of image repository or ability to create an image repository for end users to provision machines from. So the different types of cloud managers. I categorize infrastructure as a service cloud managers into two different offerings or types of solutions. We have orchestration based solutions and then what I define as pure cloud managers. Orchestration solutions are solutions that are built on legacy data center automation tools like HP's orchestration product. Novell has an orchestration product, and Dell just recently acquired, maybe about a year ago, a orchestration solution. So orchestration solutions are solutions that are geared towards really large data centers and automating actions that could be scripted, such as the provisioning of, let's say, 100 servers, the provisioning of storage to servers, anything that you can think of that a large data center would have to do time in and time again, and that would normally require hands-on support to do. These solutions kind of take that out of the mix and allow you to automate the data center. Those are really great solutions, and what these companies have done have basically taken these solutions and bolted a cloud manager interface on top of those solutions to allow you to have that automation as well as those components of a cloud manager that we need to offer shared infrastructures to a set of cloud customers. On the other side of the spectrum, we have what I would like to call pure cloud manager. So Eucalyptus, Abaquo, OpenStack, CloudStack. These are solutions that are built specifically from the ground up to be cloud managers. Very similar when you look at the objective. They have very similar objectives. They want to meet those 5 criteria of a cloud environment, but they approach it in a different way because they've built the applications with the ideal of providing cloud-based services and not just data center orchestration. So what are some of the offerings in cloud managers? We have vCloud, or VMware's vCloud Director, which obviously only supports all VMware hypervisor environments. So if you want to leverage less expensive hypervisors such as KVM or your included licensing with Hyper-V, vCloud or vCloud Director is really not a big option for you. Solution that we don't hear much about anymore, Eucalyptus. Eucalyptus is a very mature open source product that also has a paid for option. CloudStack, again, a lot of recent news on Citrix leaving the OpenStack camp and joining the CloudStack solution. OpenStack, which is the originally Rackspace sponsored open source product. You can go to Virtualized Geek to read about both the CloudStack and OpenStack solutions. The Novell solution, which is now been acquired by a new company, but they still have their solution out. Then a solution by a smaller company called Abaquo, which is a multi-hypervisor solution that had at one time a open source project, but I think in the past year and a half, I haven't seen that project been able to be downloaded. All of these solutions, with the exception of vCloud, provide support for multiple hypervisors. So Eucalyptus, CloudStack, OpenStack, Novell, and Abaquo all offer cross-platform hypervisor solutions. I want to caveat that with a couple of the solutions that are open source. The Abaquo open source solution, or at least the open source solution that they had on a market a while back ago, and the Eucalyptus solution, as well as the Novell solution, have open source type models. But if you want to support vSphere, you most definitely have to go with the paid model. CloudStack and OpenStack, on the other hand, are completely open source solutions, both of which, if you're needing to roll a cloud today, you'll have to spend some development dollars if you're planning on rolling a private cloud or your own public or hybrid cloud. You'll have to spend some development dollars to get the cloud to where you need it to be capability-wise when we talked about all those features. So that was the introduction to cloud managers and infrastructure as a service, our continued conversations. We'll continue these conversations on future conversations. Will be focused around storage and networking, and we'll dabble a little bit into security as well. Again, if you want to learn more about virtualization, cloud computing, or technology in general, I encourage you to visit my website, www.virtualizedgeek.com. Thanks.